In movies and money, AMC shares are up more than 10% for the past 5 days, following a Bloomberg News report that Amazon might be interested in buying AMC theater chain. AMC is said to be valued at $4 billion. For more on the movies, we have film critic Erik Childress with us now. Erik, John Wick Chapter 4 had the second biggest opening of the year and the biggest of that franchise to date. How high do you think this film will climb?
Well, this character in this series has been all about the word climb, and not just in quality, which is often the most difficult to achieve. But the numbers started in 2014 with a modest $14.4 million opening, which climbed to $30.4 million with its first sequel, and then to $56.8 million in 2019 with Chapter 3. Now, with a $73.5 million start, Chapter 4 has a shot to reach $200 million domestically, which, combined with a healthy international haul, should easily put this film into profit. Each film either doubled or nearly doubled the opening, and yet the measure of word of mouth was nearly identical. Chapter 4 should do just fine.
Something not going very well, comic book films. Now it looks like both Marvel and DC have a loser on the books.
And maybe one of the biggest losers of the year for one of them, and that is Warner Brothers and DC's Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which took a nearly 68% dive in its second weekend, making it the first March release ever to open over $30 million and then fall below $10 million the next week. Now, the second biggest loser of the year currently is Marvel's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is certainly not their greatest failure, but is definitely a red mark on an otherwise extraordinary run of films in their profit machine. The argument for these not being A-list characters was never the case when they were making money. I don't think that there's a positive spin to put on these outcomes, nor do I think that the sky is completely falling on the comic book universes. But I do think that fans are certainly being selective and maybe, just maybe, a little more discerning when it comes to the quality of these films.
Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves opens this weekend. Here's a look.
Truth be told, we helped the wrong person steal the wrong thing. We didn't mean to unleash the greatest evil the world has ever known. But we're gonna fix it.
You are not exactly a fan of this film. What do you think it's going to take for this film to break even?
To quote Harvey Keitel in Reservoir Dogs, a lot. $151 million is what it reportedly cost to make Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, and that is going to need a lot of fans of that game, or at the very least of goofy fantasy adventures, to buy tickets. I already told you I did not have the kind of fun some people have had with this film. It's just not good. And that's a lot of money to spend on this particular kind of light action combined with even lighter chuckle-off dialogue. Some may have forgotten that there was a Dungeons & Dragons movies made back in 2000 with a similar approach. And it grossed all of $15 million domestically, $33 million worldwide, but also only cost $45 million. Honor Among Thieves is going to have to put up a number globally of around $450 million for this to break even. The latest Ant-Man has just barely broken that number. Only 9 movies did it in 2022. 8 of those were sequels, and the other had a guy called The Batman. So call me a hater or just call me a skeptic, but I just do not believe this film is going to put up the coinage that it needs.
Thank you, Erik. We will see you next week.
Thank you, Angie.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.